Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending on where you're listening. Welcome to the late edition of Swahili Sunday. I had an event today that I went, and I'm sitting here. You can probably hear the air conditioner in the background working on cooling off. Oops, I just hit the camera. The event was downtown Santa Ana, and it was my first time doing the event. I had been invited, so I had said yes, and I thought, oh, it's going to be hot, but I had agreed to go, so I went ahead and went, and thankfully there was a nice breeze. It didn't get really bad until about the last hour, and I could really start to feel it, and thankfully it ended at 3 instead of 4, because I don't think I could have lasted beyond that, but I was grateful. Some products went home with some happy people today, so that was a great thing. That the whole purpose of doing the event, and I met some people and connected with some people. So maybe some future things will come out of that as well. But so that's why I'm doing Swahili Sunday late today, because I was doing the event. I thought about doing it. That's why I didn't set it up this morning. I had thought about doing it while I was setting up. I was supposed to start setting up at 9, and I got a little late start. And by the time I got it all, it's like after 9. And I thought, well, I'll just make it this afternoon. So I'm still doing Swahili Sunday, but it's just a late edition. And then I'm cooling off. I have the AC going. I'm here in the showroom in Santa Ana. You can see a lot of products behind me. There's products all around, and then we have our studio over here where we there's our studio where we do our lives from, and if you're coming to do an interview in studio, that's where you would be. And then we have the products. They're kind of all around here. So if you're local to Orange County, you can set up a time to come here. We are planning some events and some contests and things to finish out the year, so there'll be more to follow on that. Now that we have the setup here, and we have air conditioning, so you can come and chill and hang out. And we have a nice couch. We can actually set up tables and chairs around, so more people can come and hang out. So we're looking at what events we want to do in the future for here in Santa Ana. But if you are, we bring wholesale customers in here, and they shop for wholesale and retail customers. If you want to come by, we're always here on Thursday for the B&B Live, which is at 5:30. So if you want to come before 5:30, you can be part of the studio audience, hang out, and then afterwards shop if you like. We've had people do that. They come in for the studio audience. Or if you'd like to set up an appointment for a time that we're not here, we can do that, and I can come over. This is not far from my house, so I can pop over, and you can come on in and do some shopping. Or if you're not local, we can actually do a video call where I'd be like this and walking around, and maybe you have a gift that you need for somebody, or you want something for yourself. I can show you the different products that are available, and you can pick something out, and we can do it that way. But love to have you come check out the showroom and studio and do some shopping, do some connecting, do some hanging out, and more to follow on some of the events that we'll be having. We're planning things. We were thinking about doing an outdoor event, but I think we're going to keep it small this year and do indoor events here at the showroom. And we're actually working on a contest coming up, and a potential photo shoot and things like that. So there'll be more to follow on that. Checked in with Layla in Kenya. Things are going great there. The ladies are doing well. The farm is coming along. I think the potatoes have been planted. I think she was up there. Yeah, she was up there planting the potatoes. So we have onions and potatoes growing at the farm. The ladies I keep putting up new product that I got back that I brought back with me from Kenya. I still have 2 more they're bags. We put them in bags instead of boxes. 2 more with all the dresses and things, and some of the other things that we have that did not fit in my suitcase. So those will be coming soon, just in time for fall and the holiday shopping. So looking forward to that. I want to share a little bit today about, how do you deal with mess? Mess when mess happens. Found out recently that somebody lied about me, something that actually the whole project in Kenya that I stole it from somebody, which is interesting. And how do you handle it when people lie about you or they tell other people things about you? There's a phrase I heard, I think Oprah or somebody, I don't know if Oprah said it or she repeated it, but it was this phrase: when people show you who they really are, believe them. And I always think that God has a way to show you who to trust and who not to trust, and who to bring into your circle and who not to bring into your circle. You could call it the whisper of the Holy Spirit. Just pay really close attention to that when people come into your sphere. And I'm always open and happy to connect with people and happy to be connected with people, but not everybody is for you. Not everybody is for whatever you're doing, and not just not for you as far as um, not for somebody you should be connected with, but also not for you as far as support, not there to lift you up. There are people who will come into your circle that'll go behind your back, or they will attempt to tear you down, or they will put you down. They'll put you down to other people. They'll not lift you up, and then maybe they don't put you down to other people, but not supporting you is just as, when they claim to be your friend, is just as bad as not as putting you down to other people. So if there's somebody who has the ability to lift you up and doesn't support you, what is that phrase? There's a phrase that you want to be friends with people who will mention your name in a room full of opportunities. And I'm always thinking about opportunities. Like I'm interviewing other fair trade businesses. Some sell things similar to what I have, but I believe there's enough room at the top for everybody. So I'm happy to find out how somebody else is involved in fair trade and give them some exposure and help them be able to grow their business as well, because they will probably connect with different people than I connect with. I think I've shared about this before. Sometimes you might have similar things and you have your group and they have their group. Sometimes it intertwines and you can work together on things, and then sometimes you'll be separate, or maybe you'll always be separate. But that doesn't mean that you should not help and support somebody else that's doing something similar to you. In the speaking, I've always been somebody who, if I couldn't speak on something or something I couldn't do or whatever, somebody came to me and asked me to speak, oh gosh, I can't speak on that, or I can't speak it on that at that time, but let me refer you to so and so or such and such. There was a veterans event many years ago in San Diego, and I suggested several people that I know. They're all friends of mine, but I suggested several people I know to be speakers at this event so they could have an opportunity as well. So it's something that you just have to pay attention to when you have people coming in and out of your circle, and it's always, you take people at face value, and then you step back and you kind of watch to see how they operate, and see, do they operate in integrity? Are they supportive? Are they uplifting? Are they kind? Sometimes you come across people who are very unkind, and you don't know why. You don't know what people are going through. Everybody's going through something at a different time in their life, and somebody may be going through something and may not be kind for some reason. But you want to make sure that you surround yourself. One of the Go Pink rules of engagement: surround yourself with people who hold you to a higher standard, not people who bring you down. So you want to make sure that you surround yourself with those people who will lift you up, support you. And so how do you handle it when you hear things, when things get back to you? Oh, so-and-so said this about you, such and such said that about you. Really? Okay. That's not true. Do you go to that person and confront them? Might not be a good idea, because when you do that, you just stir up more mess. And somebody who has gone to the trouble to make up something about you or do something to put you down isn't really worth the time of day, unless it's something that's caused some harm to you in some way, other than, you know, emotional or mental harm. But if it's caused some harm to you in some way, then you might consider whether or not to do something about it. I've shared on here before about the person I was involved with, 20 years ago. We had a business on eBay, and he cut me out of the business, and we didn't have anything in writing, and I could have taken him to court, but I actually put up the money to start the business. That money was paid back, but you don't put money into a business just to get paid back. And I could have gone to court, but I decided for my own well-being that it wasn't anything worth doing, and I simply let it go. And to this day, I'm grateful I let it go, and I did not go down that path of going to court and things. When I talk about this in Think Like a Negotiator, be willing to go to court. You have to decide in a situation, if somebody's done something to harm you, if it's something that you want to go to court with. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to make that decision to go to court, you have to see that all the way through. You have to think about, and that's what I did. I thought about, okay, if I decide to take this to court, what do I want out of it? And what is the process going to be to get there? And will it be a long, drawn out process? And is it really worth it for a few dollars? And it was more than obviously a few dollars. It was thousands of dollars. But for me and my well-being, I decided to let it go. And like I said, to this day, I am grateful that's exactly what I did. And I was working on my own peace of mind, and it was something that would not have been good for peace of mind, because when you go to court, that can get nasty and ugly, and yeah, I just didn't want to do that. So you have to decide if somebody's done some kind of harm to you, if you're willing to go to court with that. I've shared, when I talk about Think Like a Negotiator, about fair and reasonable and preparing in advance. And the time when my daughter had a landlord-tenant dispute, the landlord took pretty much all but $98 of her $800 deposit. When he had come and done a pre-move out walkthrough inspection and basically said, give it a good cleaning, she had it professionally cleaned. And then he said, oh, I would have cleaned the baseboards a little bit better, but that's about it. Well, when she got the letter saying, oh, well, here's all the deductions, when he didn't mention any of that, she decided at that moment, when she was preparing a letter to go to him, that she wanted to take it to court. And that's something, she made a decision before she got into it. That's the important thing about that. You have to make those decisions, whether you confront someone, whether you go to court, whether you discuss it, whatever. You have to make those decisions in advance before you even get into the conversation, how far you want to take it and what you want your outcome to be. So if you want to take something to court, you have to decide back here when you're thinking about it, I want to take this to court, and then I'm willing to see it through. And she decided she was willing to see it through, but you'll have to attend to Think Like a Negotiator training to hear the outcome and result of that if you want to. Or I think you can read about it in my book also, under Fair and Reasonable. But those are just some things that you need to think about, and because we all come across mess, and we all come across things that people say or do. Some who are, I guess, more prominent in the public have, I guess, more of that, and some have less, but we all face it. So you have to think about, when it comes up, is it really worth it to say anything? Is saying anything to a person who's disparaged you in some way going to do anything? Is it really going to do anything one way or the other. Is it going to make it improve? Is it going to make the person say, oh, right, I'm sorry? Or is it going to simply stir up more mess? So you have to think about that before you decide to actually confront somebody. Like, what is the outcome that I want from this? And is this outcome likely to happen? I think there's a scripture that talks about things that are in the darkness come out, and light brings things. Oh, I'm paraphrasing. Light brings things out of the darkness, so the darkness can't hide in the light. So those kind of things have a way of working themselves out, and basically, if you just have some faith with that, you'll have the opportunity to make a decision that'll be good for you and everybody involved. Anyway, that's all I wanted to chat about today. I have to go pick up my little pup. She's over at the doggy daycare, and sit here for a minute. I'm enjoying the air conditioning after being out in the heat. As always, if you're interested in donating, you can go to basketsandbeatskenya.org and donate. Oh, here it is. I'm looking in the wrong place. Donate to help sponsor our kids for school. We have 6 kids that we have in high school in Kenya, and we're sponsoring their school fees and uniforms and school supplies. So would love you to consider helping for those. It costs about $1,000 a year per kid, roughly, give or take, depending on if they have trips they have to do. You have to pay things when they do exams, and they have all these supplies that they have to have, and then they wear uniforms, so their uniforms wear out, so they need that as well. So any support, or if you want to support the farm or any of our other projects, basketsandbeatskenya.org. We are a 501c3 here, and we have an NGO in Kenya, so love for you to consider supporting. All right, this week we have a great guest on B&B Live, and we're looking forward to that interview. We'll be sharing that post later in the week, and hopefully you'll be able to join us live or later. You can watch it after the fact. All right, everybody, have a great Sunday and enjoy your the rest of your day, or if it's Monday where you are, enjoy that too. Nakupenda.